Hello and welcome. This is Into Vietnam, the exclusive business news presented to you by VITV channel. And here are our top stories. Credit institutions expect lower lending rate in the fourth quarter of the year. The Vietnam Asset Management Company allowed to determine auction assessed value since November the 10th. And Vietnam Airlines will IPO on November the 14th with initial unit price of 23,000 Vietnam dong. The Forecast Department under the State Bank of Vietnam announced the survey results on business strength of credit institutions and branches of foreign banks in Vietnam in the fourth quarter of 2014. The survey showed 85 to 88% of credit institutions expect the interest rate levels in Vietnam dong will be at stable levels or drop in the final 3 months of 2014. Of the sum, 43 to 51% expect unchanged rate, 35% expect lower mobilization rate, and 44% expect lower lending interest rate, with the respective decrease of 0.12% and 0.22% from the previous quarter. For the whole year, 90% of credit institutions expect the lending and mobilization rate in Vietnam dong will maintain stable or drop from the end of last year, with a corresponding rate of 0.93% and 1.14% per year. It's notable that the lending rate in Vietnam dong is projected to drop at a quicker pace than the mobilization rate in the fourth quarter and in the whole of 2014. The Justice Ministry has released Circular Number 18, allowing the Vietnam Asset Management Company or VAMC to determine the value of auction assets since November the 10th. The move is aimed to guarantee the interest of relevant sides in the auction. In case the value of auction assets is determined according to market price, the Vietnam Asset Management Company is allowed to hire competent organizations or agencies to help it determine the price or initial price of the assets. Moreover, if the VMC buys the non-performing loans with special bonds, the price will be negotiated by both sides. In case both sides fail to determine on the initial price within 5 working days, the VMC has rights to hire competent organizations or agencies to do the job. In order to ensure the objectiveness, efficiency, and enhancing VMC responsibilities, the circular stipulates that information on the hiring of auction organizations, selecting professional auction organizations must be publicized based on the competencies, experience, privilege, the auction mode, skill, and infrastructure of organization. The Ho Chi Minh City Stock Exchange has announced the initial public offering of Vietnam Airlines, which is scheduled to be implemented on November the 14th. Vietnam Airlines, with the shadow capital of more than 14.1 trillion dong, and in the initial public offering, the company will sell more than 49 million shares, whose values are equivalent to 3.5% of the shadow capital. The initial unit price of Vietnam Airlines is 22,300 dong, which is unchanged from the proposed plan submitted to the Ministry of Transport and Communication in June 2014. According to its privatization plan approved by the Prime Minister, the privatization will be done via the mode of maintaining the government's capital in the company and issue more shares to raise its shadow capital. The most expected initial public offering of Vietnam Airlines has been mapped out within a specific roadmap. The market is expecting new announcement on the corporation's strategic investors. Earlier in his talk on the Wall Street Journal on August the 27th, Mr. Phạm Ngọc Minh, General Director of Vietnam Airlines, said The corporation is negotiating with some strategic investors to sell 20% or more of its shares. More than one of the investors are from Japan. Vietnam Airlines may sell at least 20% of their shares to one or more than one of the investors. And now let's move on with some foreign trade news. In the first 9 months of the year through September, Vietnam's export turnover reached $109.6 billion, while imports hit $107.1 billion, resulting in a trade surplus of $2.5 billion, equivalent to 2.3% of export turnover. According to the estimate at General Statistics Office, national export turnover in September alone was worth $12.4 billion, declining 6.6% compared to the previous month, due to affected custom declaration operations at the Independence Day holiday and accelerated export at the end of August. During the period, export turnover stood at $109.6 billion, increasing by 14.1%. Year-on-year, in which the FDI sector generated almost $73 billion from exports, rising 14.1%, and contributed over 66.6% to the total national export turnover. Despite being a restrained imported commodity, completely built units saw the imports in Vietnam rise between January and September to hit 44,000 units, worth $938 million. According to the General Statistics Office, in September alone, automobile imports in Vietnam was 7,000 units, valued at $132 million. In 9 months, Vietnam imported 44,000 completely built units or CBU, valued at $938 million, up 74% in volume and 90.2% in value on year. Vietnam's automobile imports contributed 0.9% to the total import revenues in 9 months. The number of middle-class auto buyers in Vietnam is on the rise, which continues to be a big challenge for local automobile manufacturers in the context that Vietnamese people with high income are rising, but they tend to use imported goods. Wood and timber products have been key export items of Vietnam. In the coming time, the sector is expected to benefit even more in the global market, as key wood exporters in more developed countries are facing challenges. Vietnamese wood exporters should jump at the chance to generate most value from the chance. More insights in the following report. Over the past years, global economic recession has taken its toll on the long and well-known wood industries of Italy, Germany, and the United States, forcing wood manufacturers in the countries to narrow down production or close down. In the meantime, Vietnam's the Asia's second processing and exporting country is welcoming huge chances from big markets. Wooden furniture imported from China into Vietnam is worth around $300 million. However, they are not certified and may contain elements that are toxic to human health. This is a chance for local manufacturing and processing wood companies to conquer the local market.
Chúng ta vẫn còn rất là nhiều tiềm năng để phát triển nữa, cho nên nói về thuận lợi thì chúng ta có nhiều thuận lợi hơn là khó khăn. Còn cái không phải là khó khăn mà là thách thức. Thì thách thức chúng ta thì làm sao cái ngành này nó có cái giá trị gia tăng cao hơn nữa và sử dụng được rất là nhiều nguồn lực trong nước nhiều hơn nữa. Có nghĩa là chúng ta sử dụng được nguồn nguyên liệu cũng như các cái nguồn cung ứng nhiều hơn trong nước để tạo cái công ăn việc làm ổn định cũng như là giúp cho cái ngành càng ngày càng phát triển.
However, to gap the chances and potentials of the wood industry, companies must deal with their limitations right away. Labor cost in Vietnam is quite low, but their working productivity is also low, resulting in higher selling prices over Chinese wood products. Moreover, local wood exporters are weak in connecting with each other, failing to reflect their strengths and potentials.
Doanh nghiệp của ta rất là nhỏ. Cái tính liên kết, cái tính hội nhập nó rất là thấp, cho nên là nếu chúng ta có cái tổ chức để liên kết những cái doanh nghiệp này lại, và đây là cái đầu mối để là hội nhập, tham gia hội nhập quốc tế và tổ chức được những cái hệ thống giúp đỡ cho các cái làng nghề này người ta có được cái hệ thống mẫu mã rồi thiết kế nó tốt hơn, thì tôi nghĩ là đấy là những cái chính sách của nhà nước thì nên đi vào những cái đó và tránh những cái chính sách cụ thể hỗ trợ trực tiếp như trước đây.
Trao đổi những cái thông tin để mình có thể có giúp cho nhau được trong cái chuyện mà nâng được cái trình độ quản lý lên. Cái lớn nhất của mình như nãy tôi trình bày vẫn là cái trình độ quản lý. Trong nghề này cái lớn nhất là trình độ quản lý. Sau đó mới nói tới vấn đề máy móc thiết bị, năng suất về máy móc thiết bị. Đó, năng lực quản lý nó làm cho ngay cả có máy móc hiện đại mà thiếu cái năng lực quản lý cũng không thể nào mà có lãi được nếu mà chúng ta quản lý không chặt chẽ.
Additionally, it's depressing that 80% of Vietnam's wood market is being dominated by multinational or foreign invested companies, leaving 20% of market share for local firms. Therefore, Vietnamese wood manufacturers are being overwhelmed by foreign companies or products. Therefore, they should get the current chances to enhance their competitiveness.
Tôi đã qua bên đó, đã đi làm và họ nói sẵn sàng có những cái nguồn như vậy đó. Họ bán rất rẻ, tại vì họ sắp đóng cửa chẳng hạn. Nhưng mà vấn đề đầu tiên nhất là vốn. Doanh nghiệp hồi nãy nói doanh nghiệp Việt Nam vừa và nhỏ vốn, mà bây giờ vay để đầu tư trung dài hạn rất khó. Đâu có bao nhiêu ngân hàng cho vay đầu tư trung và dài hạn, lãi suất ngân hàng gì đó vân vân. Đó là những cái rào cản. Thứ nhất là nguồn vốn, và thứ nhì đó là cái chuyện mà máy móc cũ á, hiện nay gần như nhà nước chỉ có một vài số trường hợp đặc biệt họ mới cho nhập thôi. Đó là những cái rào cản thôi, chứ không có gì là lớn hết á. Nó rất là nhỏ, nhưng mà đối với những doanh nghiệp thì nó vẫn là cái gì khó.
It's expected that Vietnam's wood companies will export between $6.2 to $6.4 billion this year versus $5.7 billion in 2013. If local firms can jump at the chance, this will be a golden opportunity for them to have a firm foothold in international and local markets. Last but not least, let's take a look at today's local gold prices, forex and stock market. Well, that's the end of the program. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon and goodbye for now.